Time check is 46 minutes past the hour of 9. It's yours truly, Mr. Carter. And this is where we officially welcome Dr. Batson, overcoming health issues. As always, we anticipate this program. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Mr. Carter, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am good. I'm good. A bit. I had a very interesting week. So a lot of work. So I do of course, always a pleasure to be here. Discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. We have a very interesting program this morning where we're going to touch on a few items as usual. We're going to touch a bit on diabetes, which of course is always a common factor. Being a country that has so many persons who actually have problems with diabetes. We're also going to be touching on poor circulation as well. And some exciting news as regards to what we're offering at Batson and Associates. We have some upcoming weeks. That's actually one of the reasons why I was actually delayed this morning, is in the process of planning these weeks that we have coming up. We have next week, which is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then we have the week after that, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. So we're going to give you guys the dates for those as regards to what we're doing, as well as the opening of our Tobago office. That's something as well that we have planned within the next coming 2 months. So a lot of things happening. Again, a lot of progress. Let me say, of course, a pleasant good morning to our listeners on Facebook. On Facebook, we are Batson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. So feel free to join us there. Let me say good morning to our listeners and followers, and of course those of you who maybe Thursday we had a very interesting day, because of course Thursday is normally the day we have 3 radio programs on a Thursday, and it was quite interactive. A lot of persons called as regards to arthritis, because arthritis is something that we have discussed last week and the week before. I did an entire symposium, for want of a better expression, on arthritis and inflammation. We spoke about rheumatoid arthritis. We also spoke about osteoarthritis, and what is the difference between rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis, and how to identify it, most importantly. And of course, what do we at Batson and Associates do? So those of you who may have wanted appointment, may have a review for the longest while that we need to do for you, and you need that review to be done with myself. Apart from the other consultants that we have at Batson and Associates, this coming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and of course the following Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we're looking at the 27th, 28th, 29th, as well as the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th of April. That is basically going to be open clinic days in Chaguanas, which is normally the case, but it will just mean that Dr. Batson would be there. So that is something to take advantage of. Those of you who may have had visits or wanted to plan visits, you may have an ultrasound that you have, or a CT scan, or MRI, or some blood result that you may have that you're not too sure about, you don't know what's going on, you need a second opinion, you need some clarification, then that is something you could take advantage of as regards to those days. We also would be doing that for the day office as well. The day office is going to be the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd of May. And of course, with Tobago now, Tobago would be the following week, which would be 8th, the 9th, the 10th. And I believe we should be doing Tobago for the entire week up to the 13th, or we would go for 2 weeks, which would be up to the 20th of May. So we will have you guys there, and of course keep you informed and whatnot where that is concerned. So let me just say good morning to some of our Facebook followers, our persons who locked in on our live. Miss Marge Hills, a pleasant good morning to you. Miss Lenora Lovell Brooks, Miss Annie Grant, pleasant good morning to you as well. Miss Avian Francis asked us some questions there, so we're going to go to that in a little bit. And Augustine Forestine, a pleasant good morning as well. Ms. Avian Francis asks, she says, Dr. Batson, I want to ask 3 questions. How can one be treated with a swollen heart is thyroid eye disease linked with mental order? And lastly, can a fractured vertebrae cause pain in the buttocks? Okay, good. Okay, so the first question asked is how can you treat a swollen heart? A swollen heart is not difficult to really deal with. Most of the time, when you're told that your heart is swollen, it would be most likely some sort of atrophy on the either the left ventricle or the right ventricle or some aspect of the heart where there is some sort of hypertrophy, rather, is what I want to say. My apologies. Which is an indication of some sort of overworking on the heart, and your heart could be swollen. The thing is, your heart, the entire heart doesn't necessarily have to be swollen. In some instances, your heart could be swollen or experience hypertrophy on different aspects. So you have left ventricular hypertrophy, or you might have right ventricular hypertrophy, and so on. It can be corrected because it is an indication of an overworked muscle, which is an indication of poor circulation. So definitely correcting the circulation in the body is going to help in that situation. And that is something we do at Batson and Associates, because you have to understand that inflammation or inflammatory response in any part of the body, in this particular case, the heart, can be problematic. Okay. So that's something we could do. I remember we have had persons, there is a test that they would do when they do something known as an echocardiogram. There's a particular aspect of that test that looks at your heart, and it is called the ejection fraction. Your ejection fraction is supposed to be anywhere in the vicinity of, we would settle for 50. There are some persons who, if your ejection fraction goes below 35, 25, I remember dealing with a patient, or a client rather, whose own was 25, and we worked with them for 9 months, and we took it from 25 to 65. Of course, that was not expected by their doctors at all. In fact, they were saying that they don't understand what it has happened there. But we simply corrected the root cause of the problem, which was high levels of inflammation, serious digestive imbalances in the body, serious acidosis issue. Always understand that gastrointestinal problems contribute to acidosis, and acidosis aids in inflammatory response. Keep that in mind. So the thing is, with high levels of inflammation, you're going to have problems. I would have shared some time ago, there are 2 tests that would normally be done, laboratory tests, to determine levels of inflammation in the body. One is referred to as a C-reactive protein test. And the other, I believe with your C-reactive protein, you're not supposed to be over 10. And then the other one is known as a ESR, which stands for erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. And your numbers with an ESR is not supposed to be more than 20. In most instances, if not all instances, someone who has serious inflammatory conditions, i.e., diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, cardiovascular disease, inflammatory bowel conditions, so things like Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, and those type of diseases would most likely have a higher ejection fraction, would have a higher ESR than other individuals, obviously, because that high erythrocyte sedimentation ratio is an indication that the inflammatory response, or the inflammation itself in the body, is too high. And because of that very high inflammatory response, it now creates an environment that is conducive to sickness, conducive to disease. Okay, so feel free, of course, to give us a call or visit. As regards to thyroid eye disease, let me see what the question is thyroid eye disease linked with mental disorder? Okay. I would say no, based on how the question is asked. I don't know if you framed that question the way you really wanted to frame it. Take a look at it again, Miss Avian Francis, and I think there's something missing there from the way you're asking that question. Okay, so I'm going to leave it out for now, and you're going to just give me if that is what you're asking, well then, but I'm really trying to understand the question. All right. So that was the second question. The last one is, can a fractured vertebrae cause pain in the buttocks? Of course, that is the entire. Remember, when you're looking at your lumbar, or you're looking at your spine, remember your spine is comprised of various parts, right? You have your cervical, which is C1 to C7, thoracic, which is T1 to T12, lumbar, which is L1 to L5, and then you have what is known as the coccyx bone, that bottom bone that they call it, which is primarily 3 bones that you have there. So if you have a lumbar situation, it is going to affect the coccyx In fact, it's going to affect the entire spine itself. So that's something that you should pay attention to. Okay, so Miss Francis, if you could ask that second question again for me, just for clarification, and then we will go there. Miss Grace Williams says, good Sunday, pleasant good morning to you. Miss Sharon Theodore, good morning to you. Miss Lenora Lovell Brooks, how to treat fatty liver. Miss Nicola Hood, a pleasant good morning to you. I know you're listening in, you're joining us, sorry, from Antigua. Okay, always a pleasure to have you here with us. How do you treat a fatty liver? Now, let me touch on this quickly before we go back to Mr. Carter there. When you're dealing with a fatty liver, understand that a fatty liver is a serious thing. So, contrary to popular belief, a fatty liver is not, it is detrimental in the sense that your liver, which we know is the largest internal organ in the body with over 500 different functions, is seriously affected by its efficiency when your liver is fatty. Okay, so in treating the liver fatty, fatty liver, sorry, at Batson Associates, we have liver tea, which is a very common thing that we use. The inflammation formula, always one of my favorites, simply because it assists in reduces inflammation in the body. Clients getting really, really good results with that as it relates to musculoskeletal problems. So those of you who may have things like arthritis, if you have things like pain, the inflammation formula works really well with that. And we also have the optimizer. That's what I wanted to remember. Optimizer is basically a free radical scavenger antioxidant, so it helps significantly with liver health. I had also given you guys a liver cleansing recipe. That's the one with the olive oil and the raisins. So I'll repeat that in a little bit as regards to how you do that. And it's a very good cleanser for the liver. It helps with a lot of things. It helps with liver, it helps with cholesterol. You know, it's a very good way to get healthy. And I mean, all you really use is raisins and olive oil, right? So I'll highlight that as we continue. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Cindy Hoyt, Alberta Francois, and Avian Francis, of course, is asking the question again. So she says, okay, if someone is diagnosed with thyroid eye disease, can they develop some mental upset and how? Oh, good. I follow you. I follow you now. The thing is, anyone who is diagnosed with any disease could end up with a mental disorder because just worries alone and stressing out yourself over it could actually be detrimental. It could actually be fatal. Think of how many persons who, as far as they were aware, were healthy and they only got sick and died when they were told they were sick. Think about it, especially cancer. You find that happens with a lot of persons with cancer. All you was going good all the time. You didn't get no pain, nothing, no. You just must be went for a routine test and the doctor end up to stumble across that you may have cancer. And then a month after you die. What do you think kill you? The cancer or the worries? Most of the time, it's the worries. Stress is a killer, you know. When people tell you stress kills, it is not an exaggeration because you see, the thing is, your body could become so stressed that you lose control. And once your cortisol level, which is your stress level, becomes very high, it can cause serious problems. You almost don't have control over your body again. Right? And so that's why people who have problems with uncontrolled anxiety, that's why I like Nerve Restore. I find Nerve Restore is such an excellent product as it relates to mental and, you know, of having issues associated with sleep. And because let me tell you something, we will all have stress. We will always have stress. Some people would have more stress than others. Where they have children stress, wife stress, husband stress, money stress, work stress, vehicle stress, I don't know, neighbor stress, stress. We live in a stressful world. The only people who do not have stress are those whose addresses are the cemetery. Once you're in the land of the living, you are going to have stress. What is vitally important is how you manage that stress. And how do you manage stress? Get a hobby, find something to do with, have all kind of thing, get a pet. I don't know. If you like cats, go get a cat. You like dogs, go get a dog. They actually prove scientifically that pets help people deal with stress. You all know that, right? But then there's some all you don't like pets at all, or you don't like animals. And I mean, I'm not saying you to like something that you don't like, but you know, it's something to look at. It can, and it has been scientifically proven to relax you, to increase dopamine levels in your brain, that type of thing. Pick up gardening. I don't know, plant some lettuce, plant some cucumber, something. Pick up a hobby. Buy two cactus and mine. Do something, right? Go and exercise. Take a little walk. Take a little jog. And you will realize that you're able to deal with stress better. Go on the beach. Go and do some deep breathing exercise. Do some grounding exercise. Bring back that balance. Okay? Miss Sonia John, she says, Dr. Batson, I have increased my intake of CMOS and my joints are way better in walking. Thanks. You're very welcome. Yeah. And we have also gotten CMOS. We have a really good quality CMOS that we have sourced, bone dry CMOS. I was quite impressed with the quality because, of course, I made it first and I used it before I brought it for you guys, right? Very important. So good product. We have that in stock now. Because since we have been advocating the use of CMOS, we have had so many persons, using it. And like Miss Sonia John, getting some very, very good results. Miss Perlin Henry Ratchpaul, a pleasant good morning to you. Miss Carol Ashby Johnson, pleasant good morning to you as well. So I'm going to take you over to Mr. Carter. And Mr. Carter, of course, you'll just provide the listeners with the telephone number, sorry, for the studio, where they'll be able to call or give or WhatsApp us. Thank you, sir.
Yes, most certainly. You can WhatsApp at 333-9950. That's 333-9950. You can send your WhatsApp there, and you can contact 625-2759. That's 625-2759, and the 624-7729.
Good. So again, keep it in mind that the program is interactive. Even though we're discussing, you all know how it goes. We would start, and of course, my objective is always to try to facilitate as much questions and be of some contribution to everyone who calls and asks a question. So listen to the program, and if the question that you had intentions of asking is maybe answered or we're going around there, then you all could always let me know accordingly. Okay, so as to the topic that while we're waiting on those questions, keep in mind as well too, let me just quickly tell you, for the Shogunas office, so keep in mind those dates, which is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which is I keep forgetting this date, which is the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th. The 27th, the 28th, and the 29th, and the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. Those are open clinic days in Shogunas. Now, keep in mind, what is an open clinic day? Open clinic day means you do not necessarily have to have an appointment. We take walk-ins. The only difference with that is that Dr. Batson is going to be in the office for all of those days. Usually, I only work Shogunas on a Wednesday. But for these 2 weeks, I will facilitate them Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The reason for that is that we'll be able to address and deal with much more clients who would have been waiting to see us. So it would shorten the wait for a number of our clients. And those of you who are listening, those of you who may have something that you wanted to come to speak to us about and it was difficult to get an appointment, this is an opportunity to take advantage of that. Keep in mind, if you're coming to do our tests, which is our 4-in-1, which is your executive consultation, your blood analysis, which is live and dry blood, your magnetic resonance analysis, that machine that is so awesome that gives us an in-depth look into the body. I'll tell you something quickly. We have been using various grades of these machines over 10 years now. I remember when it was first introduced to me by a client. But it was not client, sorry, it was actually one of my mentors. You know, I was really impressed with what it said that it could do. But of course, you're even more impressed when you actually use it and you have experience with it now and you see that it actually really does what it says it's supposed to do. And it really does that in the sense that it gives us an opportunity to get an in-depth look into the body. What does that mean? You see, when you're dealing with sickness and disease, and this is something that's very hurtful as it relates to a number of individuals, you have to know what you're dealing with. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Frederica Joseph. She says, good morning, Dr. Batson and Associates. I must say hello to Miss Roma and Dede Office. Thank you all. You're very welcome. Miss Ria Harikisun, a pleasant good morning to you. Yeah, so the point I'm making is that you're sick and you just don't know why you're sick, how you're sick. I'll say that again. You're sick, but you don't know why you're sick. You don't know how you're sick. So it's like in a deep hole, in a well, and it have no ladder down, it have no rope, you don't know how to come out. That's how I see a lot of people. And that's a sad thing because you can't, you're an adult, you're working, you have your children, you have your family, whatever the case may be, and you're sick. And the thing is, you're sick for years and you're just not getting better. So, my question to you this morning, the 26th, Sunday, the 26th of March at 10:06 a.m., why are you still sick? You answer that question for me. Regardless of the disease that you have, or the ailment that you have, or the symptomology that you have, why are you not feeling well for so long? Why? Answer that question for me. Why is that you have diabetes and your diabetes is just getting worse? Let me give you a scenario, and this is something I painted this picture on Thursday when I was doing my program. 65-year-old male, right? At the age of 55, he got diabetes. So you were diagnosed as a diabetic at the age of 55, okay? The treatment protocol that was recommended would have been metformin. Based on the levels of how high the sugar was, it was recommended that this individual uses 4 metformin. You'll use two in the morning with breakfast. You'll use 2 in the morning, 2 in the night, with dinner. So that's 4 metformin that they're going to take. That was the age of 55. They continued taking their metformin for 2 years consistently. And then they were diagnosed at the age of 57 with hypertension. Okay? So you're taking your metformin all the time, but 2 years after you get high blood pressure, right? Now, I'm not saying that the metformin caused that, because a lot of people do not understand that if it is you're dealing with one particular problem, you should change your lifestyle, adapt a better diet, and try to see if you can do some exercise so you don't end up sicker. But most people don't do that. And then most doctors do advocate that. So 2 years after, this particular gentleman ended up with high blood pressure. So he got somewhat additional medication. So he was given enalapril, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and he was also recommended a diuretic. The diuretic was Lasix, so he was recommended to take 2 Lasix, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. So at the age of 57, his medication is now 4 metformin, 2 enalapril, and 2 Lasix. 57, right? He continues to take that, and 3 years after, at the age of 60, he was told that his cholesterol is high. So the doctor told him, okay, we're going to now put you on Simlo, which is a statin drugs, which are the classification of drugs to treat cholesterol or high cholesterol. And we're also going to put you on aspirin. He's 60 years now, right? So he's now taking, you're following the story, right? So he's now taking 4 metformin, 2 enalapril, 2 Lasix, 1 Simlo, and an aspirin. And he's now 60 years. Are you following the story, right? Good. So diabetes was at 55, hypertension was at 57, and high cholesterol is now at 60. So you would think that it is finished there, and this person is getting better because they're taking the medication. But no, at the age of 63, you have now been diagnosed with cardiovascular problems. You're being told that your heart rate is going, something is wrong there. So you're now being placed on cardiovascular medication. So he was now given Plavix, Coreg, and GTN. So in case you have any blockages, whatever the case may be. Good? Now at the age of, so that's 63, right? So you all see the medication there, right? 4 metformin, 2 enalapril, 2 Lasix, 1 Simlo, 1 aspirin, and now because of cardiovascular disease, we now add a Coreg, we add a Plavix, and GTN. That's the tablet to put under your tongue if you feel your chest feeling tight. That acts as a vasodilator, right? And he's 63 years. At 65, he's now being told that his kidneys, because of all the medication that he has been taking, his kidneys are now being affected. So his creatinine and bond is high, and his GFR, which is his glomerular filtration rate, is now at stage 4. Good. So I would assume that everyone would have heard what it is I just said there, right? And that example that I have just given you is a perfect example of most people in the medical system, most of them. Now tell me, based on what we just discussed, how, in God's name, is that making any sense? Somebody explain that to me. I would really, really like somebody. There is no explanation, and I know the explanation. You know the explanation. But of course, there's going to be some intelligent doctor going to come and tell you that, well, you have to understand that, these things, there's no cure and you don't get better. Okay, but if you don't get better, why are you getting so significantly worse? You're not even staying at the level that you was before, Why? And then there are people who are going to watch at me in my face and try to have an argument as regards to a medical doctor. You're not a medical doctor. I don't have no desire to be a medical doctor. None whatsoever. None. Absolutely no desire. Believe me. They can't even invite me to that class. I'm not going because I have no interest in it. And that is not any disrespect to anybody. But simply because of what I just explained to you, because in my mind, that makes no sense. How could you start off with one problem and at 10 years after, you end up with a ruined kidney? That's madness. That is madness. How does that make sense? And there are big, intelligent, intellectual, in inverted commas, people who will sit down and have a conversation with you and tell me, don't drink herbs, don't take a clean out. Really? Trinidad and Tobago? But let me tell you something, why some people just end up like that. You know why they end up like that? Because they're licorice and they're greedy and they always want an excuse in the nonsense. So that is why they stay there and take that. So if you get in that and you want it and you like it, then take it. But don't discredit or say otherwise as regards to what can really help people. Because there are things that could help you. You can't start off with one disease and then 10 years after you have 4 more. How that making sense? How is that making sense? How? And then someone is going to watch you and tell you, well, we do not know what caused diabetes, and we don't know what caused hypertension, and we don't know what caused cardiovascular disease. Please, all you come in with that nonsense still? In this 2023, they're trying to make people, they're making robots, they have AIs, artificial intelligence, you have things you could get clean your house talking to you, you could talk to people on the other side of the world, and we still have sick people? Or do you think it's a reason why people sick still? I mean, some of the reasons is always just licorice and greedy and eating things all they ain't supposed to eat. And just don't believe that when you do those things long enough, it can create so much damage that the damage is almost irreversible. Because you can reverse diabetes, you can reverse hypertension, you can reverse cardiovascular disease, you can reverse almost any disease. The question is, when you make the attempt to deal with it, because that's the problem with a lot of people. They sit down. You sit down. Diabetes is not a game. Diabetes is not a joke. Anyone who has diabetes, who ended up with 1 foot, no limbs, ask them what they do. You ask them what they did. That same scenario that I gave you a while ago, All you understand the scenario I gave you all? There was a reason why I took my time and I did that. The man start off with a diagnosis of diabetes at the age of 55, 55 years. You young, you still living. And the correction to his diabetes was 4 metformin. 2 in the morning, 2 in the night. Okay, brother, go, you take your metformin. You take your metformin for 2 years consistently. You followed doctor's advice. So how 2 years after, you end up with high blood pressure? Now, we're not saying it's the medication. I don't understand what it is I'm saying. There was no corrective measure taken for this gentleman or for, because had he come to somebody like me, I was pulling you up one time in your nonsense and I said, listen, brother, man, you see, diabetes is not your friend. That is not your friend. That is not a woman. That is not your friend. There is nothing good that you're going to get out of that. So deal with it now. So if you had come to somebody like me, I brace in you one time, brother man, what you eating? What you drinking? What time you going and sleep? How much water you drinking? You just exercise? How much greens in your diet? Those are the questions. How often you get bowel movement? You drinking alcohol? How often you drink alcohol? Because you don't become a diabetic just so. Why is it at the age of 55 you got diabetes? Why didn't get diabetes at 45? Why didn't get it at 30? Why didn't get it at 35? No, you get it at 55. Why? Because all the nonsense you do at the age of 55 come up to catch you. The nonsense had to be enough to culminate at 55 for you to get diabetes. That's why I get diabetes at 55 and not 50. Right? It does not make sense, ladies and gentlemen. So 2 years after that, you come now and you have high blood pressure, and they ain't even tell you, well, here what? Well, no, man, you're already taking metformin. There's plenty medication. We can't come and put you on enalapril again. No, they didn't tell him that. They said, no, you take 2 enalapril, and on top of that, take a 2 Lasix in your waist too. So we give you hypoglycemia. No, not hypo. So yes, you're on a hypoglycemic agent. You're on calcium channel and beta blockers, and you're on a diuretic. Then 3 years after that, now we come and hit your cholesterol regime now. So they come and give you baby aspirin, which is 81 milligram, and then they come and hit you a Simlo. And I could do 29 whole programs on statins and how to really deal with cholesterol and why someone's cholesterol is really high. And you would have somebody would have sit down with a straight face and watch me and tell me that no, I'm following, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any problem, it has to start with the base and the root cause of the problem. You cannot continue to treat the symptomology. You cannot continue to treat the end of the domino. If you have 100 dominoes and you push them down, which domino do you pick up first? Do you pick up the last domino? You can't pick up the last dominoes. The other 99 resting on that domino. How are you going to pick it up? You have to take up which domino? The first one that fell, right? The first domino would start with the cause. What is the condition of your intestines? What is the condition of your liver and your kidneys? You know that? You know that answer? Why is it that you're getting headaches all the time? Why all of a sudden at the age of 55 that gentleman became diabetic? What was he doing or what was he not doing that put him in that situation? And those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Because you see, in the final analysis, when all the dirt is settled, when all the argument is finished, you are the person who have to live with yourself. And that is the peace of mind that I just have when I do what I do and when I deal with people. And as I tell people, I don't argue. I'm not arguing with nobody. If it is you have intentions of coming in my office to have an argument with me in the wrong place, don't even waste your time. Don't waste your time and don't waste my time. I don't have time for that. I want people who want help. You're sick? Don't study the money. It ain't nothing but to sell us $1 million. I guarantee you that. But the point is, you cannot be sick for so long. Stop it. Why are you suffering? Why are you depressed? You know it is depressed. You know it is to not want to get up out of your bed. You know what it is to not want to bathe for days, for weeks. All these young women now who giving birth to children, God help them, because you know what's going on with a lot of them? Postpartum depression. These women watching children, they make them want to kill them. And listen to me, that have nothing to do with them. You know what it is? Because of the condition of their nerves. And these poor ladies, they ain't getting advice. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know how to take better care of themselves. So now you have a woman who just gave birth to a child and she is severely depressed. And let me tell you something quickly before we go back to the lines. I remember dealing with a lady recently. And when she came to me, she came with specific type of symptomology. Her hair was falling, serious anxiety, serious depression, problems sleeping, whatever the case may be. But when I looked at the what she was telling me she was experiencing, because we didn't do any tests as yet. And I looked at what she was saying as regards to her diet and her lifestyle. It wasn't matching up to me. So I asked her honestly, I said, tell me something. You're lying to me. Or don't come here and, we don't have time for that. She said, no, Dr. Batson, I am not lying. I'm telling you, this is how I eat. This is what I do. I used to exercise before. I used to do my little jogging. Nice lady. You could see she working out fit and thing. I said, no, I said, but something wrong here. And then I asked the question. Something say, okay, there has to be a stressor. There would have had to be a trigger. What is the trigger? So I asked the question. I said, let me ask you something. You have children? She said, yes. I said, what age? So one is over 16, and then the next one is about 7, 8 years. I say, uh-huh. I say, when these problems start happening to you, she looked at me. Then she looked at me again, and she started to smile. She said, but wait, all this started to happen after I gave birth to my last child. I said, yeah, bing, 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 bing. I said, so all them doctors and then they go to didn't ask you that question? No one, not one of these individuals had the intelligence to ask this young lady that. So Trinidad and Tobago, the listeners of Sky 99.5, that is what had the woman in the disarray state that she is in, is because of that. She made a child before 16 years, and then after that, 8 years after, 9 years after, she came and she had another child. The problem is her body was too weak for that pregnancy, and her nerves. Because women, when you're making children, you have to understand that children take a lot out of you. Well, I don't have to tell you all that. As a man, I never make a child yet. I can't make children. In that way, if you all understand what I mean. So it means that was the situation. And if you see how easy this woman get help, if you see how easy, in a month time, she said, Dr. Batson, I never believe I would have feel so good so fast. You know why? We look at the first domino. Please, even if I am not the doctor for you, because in hearing me, you would know if I was the doctor for you or not. People just know. And don't think I just buff up people and make a certain noise. I don't really buff nobody. I just because it's money all they're spending, all they come in to play games. It's a serious business. I always tell people in life when you're doing something, do it good or don't do it at all. But you cannot continue with how you're going. All right, let me give you the office numbers and then we'll go back to the radio. So for Shogunas, that telephone number, head office, first floor Money Talks building. That telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. The WhatsApp for that office is 314-9975. That is 314-9975. Keep in mind, as I said, those open clinic days, which we always have, but it's just myself will be there. I will be facilitating the Shogunas office on the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th, as well as the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th of April. Debe, I am going to be in Debe on the 1st of April, which is a Saturday. But as regards to facilitating Debe for an extended period, that is going to be in the first week in May, which is the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd of May. Okay, guys, so those of you who, as I said, may have had issues, you wanted a second opinion, you have gone through what it is I just explained there, and you really want to feel good. You're having problems with your bowels, you're not going in the toilet properly, you're having problems with headaches. Parents, those of you who have children, young daughters, 14, 15, with these menstrual cycle that they're going through hell when they see the menstrual cycle, they can't even go to school. You need to check these things because you have to understand when you are becoming ill, sickness is cumulative and progressive. That explanation I gave you with that gentleman when he started becoming ill at the age of 65, not 65, sorry, 55. You saw what happened to him by 10 years? You can imagine a human being has deteriorated so significantly in 10 years. So that is why I tell you guys, I am not in the politics of medicine. I don't argue with nobody, I'm a results-oriented person because I know if that individual was coming by me, if we were dealing with him at Batson Associates, by us I should say, and not me. Let me say a pleasant good morning to our consultants, Mr. Paul Green, Miss Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Rene Bustamante, and Mr. Stefan Vialva. Pleasant good morning to you and all the support, my colleagues. I don't call anybody staff at Batson and Associates. A pleasant good morning to you guys. We have some work. We have some interesting months coming up. We have a lot of work, and we here for it. We ask that we give, or you give yourself an opportunity to feel better. For the Debe office, that telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Tobago office looking nice, man. All you liking all yourself from next month, please, God. Okay, so with that being said, Mr. Carter, sir, the ball is in your court.
Okay, we have one question here.
Uh-huh.
Are you able to help someone to come off warfarin, having been on it for over 10 years?
Okay, so that's... Let me explain this to you. No one should be on warfarin for 10 years. That's madness. I'm in total disagreement with that. And I don't care how much you have been told that you're prone to clots, that using that medication for that extended period of time is going to be detrimental to a number of things. Warfarin and blood thinners are usually recommended for persons who have one of two issues. If you have maybe some sort of AFib, cardiovascular problem, and as a result of that, or if you may have had some sort of surgery where they may have put in a pacemaker or something like that, and you need to keep the blood at a particular thickness. That's one. And most of the time it's persons who they may have developed clots at some point in time. They may have done a Doppler. A Doppler is an ultrasound of your legs, and they may have shown clots in the legs, or you may have a clot that maybe was going close to your lungs, or whatever the case may be. And because of that, it would have been recommended. I could understand if they give it for 6 months. And then, of course, they check again, whether they have to do over the Doppler, they do the CT or the ultrasound of the lungs, wherever the clot was. That's understandable. But 10 years? No, that's madness. That's madness. As regards to taking off, keep in mind, for my own protection, we don't really remove people off a medication like that. What happens, or what is supposed to happen, is that we work with you, and automatically, based on the protocol that we give you. So if you come to us with hypertension and high blood sugar, from the time you start to use the protocol is automatically going to start to regulate your blood pressure and your blood sugar. So most of the time when you test now, and then when you go to your doctor, the doctor is going to tell you, well, listen, you can't be taking this amount of medication, because if the sugar is already going low and the pressure is already going low, we're going to take medication for it to fall long and dead. That's what's going to happen. So it means now that you begin weaning yourself off of the medication, and that is what usually happens. Because I have a lot of clients, I don't tell them to stop. They go to the clinics, they go and see the doctors as normal. A good doctor with sense, there's always know when you're going to somebody like me. Believe me, there is no. They will ask. There is no. They must know. You can't be sick all that time and all of a sudden you start to reverse, and you're telling them you're taking the same medication you're taking. They're stupid. You think they don't know what the medication they just give people this do? They know. Don't feel they don't know. They know it is a management thing. It's to manage. Why do you manage disease? The only thing is manage is our business. You don't manage sickness. Why would you want to manage diabetes when diabetes could be reversed? Get up. Go and do what you need to do, whether it's walking, running, jogging, something, move. Start to look at your weight, and then you're going to get the results that you want. That is what we need to do, where that is. Yes, Miss Hills, I'm going to give you the remedy for the liver in a little bit. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. So the listeners of Sky 99.5, a pleasant good morning to you. Although don't be shy, if you have a question to ask the question, right? You have those days next week and week after. Take full advantage of it, and try and see if you could check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right. Any more questions, Mr. Carter?
That's it for now.
Okay, good. Now, one of the things that someone had asked was high blood pressure. So let me just say something on hypertension here now. Now, there are different types of hypertension. Primarily, you have what is known as pulmonary hypertension, um, which is a type of hypertension I just want to discuss quickly. You have to understand that you have two types of circulation in the body. You have pulmonary circulation, which is above your heart, and you have systemic circulation, which is below your heart. So if you have been told that you are hypertensive or you have um, pulmonary hypertension, then it means that you have a serious type of hypertension that could actually cause problems with stroke. Because people who end up with things like stroke and end up with things like whether it's a bleeding stroke, so whether you end up with hemorrhagic strokes or hemorrhagic stroke or ischemic stroke. So hemorrhagic strokes are bleeding strokes. Ischemic strokes are lack of blood flow, lack of oxygen to the brain, right? It is one that is needs sorry to be taken into consideration when you're looking at pulmonary hypertension. Now you have, in terms of the hypertension, you'll be told that there is something known as primary hypertension, and you also have secondary hypertension. And primary hypertension is high blood pressure that is related to another medical condition, right? Now that's something a lot of people do not know, you know. Most of the time, if you are hypertensive, you have two types of hypertension in its basic aspect: primary hypertension and secondary hypertension. So, secondary hypertension is where you have another medical condition that causes high blood pressure. For example, kidney issues, problems with skin, sleeping problems, those type of things. So, people who don't sleep well could actually end up with secondary hypertension, which is hypertension caused by lack of sleeping. You all following me? And then you have high blood pressure, which is primary, which is not related, sorry, to another medical condition. My apologies. Right? So that is what you're looking at. So in that instance with hypertension, you need to be very careful, because if it is secondary hypertension you have, then that hypertension is that's the easier hypertension to deal with. If it's primary hypertension that you have, what is causing you to be hypertensive? Most people with primary hypertension would be persons who are a lot of toxins, a lot of buildup of toxins in the body and that type of thing. Okay, and of course, you know, we have our 7-channel detox, Santulang. Keep in mind that we're going to have some things that we'll be doing. So those of you who are already on our Facebook, we're doing some work on our TikTok. So we're going to be actually running some segments on that. We're going to be also doing that on YouTube and our other social media platforms. But we have that scheduled as something to be done throughout the year. Okay. So that's something to pay attention to. Okay. Miss Carol Ashby Johnson, I want to know, this diabetes could be reversed, and you might give the answer. Yeah, diabetes could be reversed. That was Miss Carol Ashby Johnson. Ponson is asking, I believe it is Miss Ponson, is Zeticia. She says, good, blessed Sunday, Dr. Batson. Any recommendation for rosacea? Yeah, that's skin problems. So when you're dealing with any skin related, which is actually an integumentary system, which is your skin and its appendages. So you're looking at things like skin, hair, nails, that type of thing. I would suggest your alkagen water. Always keep in mind, let me just go back a little quickly. When you're looking at sickness and disease, ladies and gentlemen, the listeners of Sky 99.5, the first thing that you need to look at is what? Your hydration. How much water can you or should you be drinking, and are you drinking your correct amount of water? That's the first thing you have to do. What is the rule for drinking water? Your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. That's the first thing every human being should do. Get your water intake to its correct levels. You will start to see a difference in the way you sleep, the way your skin start to look. Now, the thing is, some of y'all might need more help than others, because of the length of time you might be sick and whatever the case may be. But water, and we do offer a premium alkaline water at Batson and Associates. It's known as Alkagen, and that water is available at all of our offices. The pH runs anywhere in the vicinity of 8.5 to 9.5. And of course, it really does help significantly. You have something in it known as ORP, which is oxidative reduction potential, which means the water is an antioxidant water. How is that going to make a difference? Even from a cellular level, the first thing people say, oh God, Dr. Batson, this water you're giving us only have me urinating. Because it begins to clean the system, clean the blood, detoxify, that type of thing. Okay. Miss Virginia Wilson Butler. She says, good morning. New to your program. After an MRI on my right knee stating osteoporosis, cartilage damage, bone fragments, knee may need to be replaced in the future. I was getting ready to do a procedure, and then I started doing some home remedies and ointments that were suggested to me from other health programs. The body can actually heal itself. You feed it correctly and treat it with medications or surgery. Okay, Ms. Butler, what you have to do, that last question that you asked me, clarify it. I think there was some sort of there's something there that you missed out. So check it and just correct it for me, and I'll try and answer as quickly before we finish, right? Lindsay Small says, good morning, Dr. Batson. Can you touch on arthritis a bit, please? Can it be reversed? Thank you very much. Okay, Linley, Small. I will do that for you in a little bit. Mr. Carter, you could feel free to interrupt me when we have a question, yes, sir? One of the things...
Yes. Yes, but we don't have any as yet.
Okay, good.
I'll keep you updated as soon as we get some more stuff.
Okay, great. So the question they're asking is, as it relates to arthritis, what really is arthritis? Okay, so I'm telling you guys, when you're dealing with arthritis, you're dealing with high levels of inflammation in the body. As it relates to Miss Virginia's question, I am not an advocate of knee replacement. I'm not at all. You have to understand, anything that goes into the body or that is put into the body that is not there originally is what is known as foreign. Anything that is foreign in the body is going to begin to give problems after a while. It is going to give problems. It might take a little while, but it's going to give problems. So what I suggest you do, the first thing you need to do, the reason why people end up with arthritis most of the time is, you know why? A lot of them, water, your bones, your bones have a high composition of water, or should have a high composition of water. Your bones have cells known as osteocytes. In fact, there are many different bone cells in the body. You have osteoclasts, you have osteocytes. There are many, many, many different types of cells that make up bone themselves. Your bone primarily are comprised of magnesium, calcium, and phosphorus in the form of calcium phosphate. The warehouse for bones, or for calcium, is your bones. So your body stores, or your bone stores, calcium so that your thyroid could later on tell your body or take calcium from your bones and put it in your bloodstream at any given time. So what you need to understand is that if you have a calcium problem, the possibility exists you may also have a thyroid problem. All I realize, thyroid starting to get real problems. There's a fella all of a sudden, like, he raised up and he wanted to be a Hitler. Everybody complaining about the thyroid. But don't worry, we are thing to deal with that fella. He just giving trouble unnecessary. However, what you have to take into consideration is that thyroid problems are not only as a result of nutritional deficiencies in the body, magnesium, iodine, and those type of things, but it is also strongly linked to stress, and the management of stress. If you do not know how to manage stress properly, you are going to die a horrific death, because stress will kill you. That will give you a heart attack, send up your blood pressure. It can kill you. So that's one of the first things you need to do as well. How do you manage stress? And I tell you, get a dog, get a cat, buy a plant. Relaxing plants, sir. But I'm going to tell you to go and mine a whole garden. Get 2 plants, get a cactus. Cactus are hard to kill. Get a little mother-in-law tongue. ZZ plant. A plant. Get something. You get up in the morning. Pets are great. I always tell people pets are amazing as therapy. They use that a lot in different parts of the world. But of course, Trinidad, we last with everything. Those are some of the things that you can do. All right. Um, so as it relates to arthritis could be helped, but you have to understand there are different types of arthritis. And the first thing we need to know is what type of arthritis you have. And that is something we could do at Batson and Associates. So you could take advantage of our open clinic day. Or extra open clinic day as regards to my availability. And that will be taking place, God's willing, at the Shogunas office this week. Now, keep in mind, those offices open every day as usual. But this week coming here, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, which is the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th, and April, which is the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, that is what we are going to be doing. So take advantage of that. You can call the office still and book the space, but we also have walk-in days. In fact, if you call and book the space, that'll be good. So we'll know how to organize. I mean, but you all know, Shogunas is a big office. All right. But keep in mind we have the Carter.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Questions here.
Okay, good.
What can someone use to build body cells and tissues?
Okay, build body cells and tissues. Okay, so if they're talking about body cells and tissue, it would mean, okay, let me use this example. If you're looking at someone who may have been burnt, then there are different things that we could use to deal with that. You're looking at a lot of omegas. It is very important, which is why, for example, someone who is looking at building healthy cells and that kind of thing, for example, a burn victim in the hospital, one of the things they give them is a lot of eggs. And the reason why they're given the eggs is because of that healthy fat in it to actually help to build back the cells of the skin and tissue and that kind of thing. So I don't know if it was in that regard that the question was being asked. And in that aspect, you can do that. If you're looking at a general aspect of building healthy, like having healthier skin, healthier hair, healthier nails, that type of thing, you're looking internally. So, of course, you're looking at things like your Alkagen water. Because Trinidad and Tobago, listeners of Sky 99.5, brothers and sisters, what you need to do is ensure that your foundation is strong, right? Now, in order to know if your foundation is strong, what is your foundation? Your foundation, one of the aspects of your foundation is what? Hydration, water. People need to stop the foolishness when they don't like water. There are plenty in like. Why don't say you don't like to breathe? You like oxygen because you want to live. Why don't block your nose and block your mouth and say you don't like to breathe? No. And water is just as paramount as oxygen. It is the second most effective or most needed anything of the body is water. All right? Miss June Jatan, blessed morning, Doc. Who is locked in the house? Yeah, Miss Butler, sure right. People perish due to a lack of knowledge. They do. They really, really do. They really, really do. So if you know you have pain, let me tell you something. It had no pain anybody ever come by Batson Associates and we didn't help them with. And anybody who didn't get full amount of results is because they didn't finish the program and the protocol. When you're dealing with a bad knee, if doctors tell you that you need a knee replacement, I am telling you, Trinidad and Tobago, you go and ask anybody who do knee replacement and see how did this be. Hang up, hook up, all kind of thing. You don't want that. Give your body what your body needs, and your body, which man is an amazing thing, You don't want to do no work. I mean, you have to, there's some effort in it, especially when exercise. But in terms of it's just choosing the right things to eat at the right time. And that is what we do at Batson Associates. That's why our clients get better. So if you know you have a problem with arthritis and you're serious, you want help, then give us a visit at any one of those offices. The numbers again, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Mr. Carter, the next question, sir.
Yes. I have an irregular heartbeat and also leaky heart valve. Are there any cure for both types?
Okay, so if you're told that you have a leaky heart valve, and you're told that, so I don't know, definitely that person is going to be on a serious medical regime. So there are going to be some medications that you may be on, maybe Correct, Plavix, those type of things. You can get help. You can get help. But again, we need to deal with the foundation. What's going on with your intestines? What are your levels of inflammatory response in the body? What does your biological terrain look like? I always tell persons I will take a microscope over any piece of diagnostic equipment. Give me a high powered electron microscope. I'll take a Zeiss, I'll take a Biomedics, good microscope. And we are able to tell you with that, what you mean, with that's one sample of blood. Listen to me. We breaking down everything there for you, every single thing, so that we know now what the foundation looks like, because that is what we're looking into, blood analysis. And someone who's trained in blood microscopy, like myself, and the people who work with me, my colleagues, Mr. Green, Ms. Ramdan, Mr. Vialva, and Mr. Bastamante, are well trained blood microscopists, well trained. So the thing is, when you understand what blood is, remember, blood is the river of life. If you do not have healthy blood, could you be healthy? Could you? Of course not. So the question is, when we do that blood analysis, when we look there, which is what we will be doing again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, Dr. Batson reviews. My job is to review, right? But you can come and have your test done. Stop being sick unnecessarily, even if you do not come to Batson and Associates. That's okay. That's no problem. That's no problem. But at least take some piece of advice. You don't want to buy water from us? You don't want to come to us? But I told you to drink your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So whatever water you think you could find to drink or you want to drink, just go and drink the water. It no matter in that. At least take the advice and try and help yourself. Okay? Jen Bree is saying, especially dealing with panic attacks, people who have, when they're dealing with panic attacks are uncontrollable in a body that has a wrecked nerve system. And anyone who has panic attacks, your nerves are not functioning properly. In order to correct that situation, we have to do what? We have to fix your foundation. Which foundation we have to fix? We have to fix your muscular, skeletal, and your central nervous, as well as your gastrointestinal systems. When we fix that, you ain't going to get no panic attack. Because let me tell you something, when you have a panic attack, you cannot control it, which is why it is called a panic attack. It is known as anxiety. You ever see somebody get an anxiety attack? You wouldn't be like to be around somebody get an anxiety attack, especially if it's somebody you love. If that happened to your mother or something, I will go mad, I telling you. It is not a nice feeling. It is not. But let me tell you something. The reason, always understand this. Sickness cannot exist in a body that is properly balanced. I'll say it again. Sickness and disease cannot be maintained in a body that has homeostasis, equilibrium, or balance. If you are sick, I don't care what your sickness is, diabetes, hypertension, whatever it is because your body is out of balance. Or Ali Berry said, Dr. Batson, elaborate on arthritis. You started and then you went to something else. Thanks very much. Yes, my dear. Well, that's how I just be. But the thing is, with arthritis, what you have to understand with arthritis can be corrected. Anyone who has arthritis, what you have and what you have to fix, and you have to fix it. You must fix it. Otherwise, you will not get better. You have to fix your gastrointestinal system. I could do 100 of programs just on gastrointestinal system alone. But I am saying to you, Ali Berry, because the reason why you're asking that must be you, I don't know, it must be close to you, whether it's you have it or a family friend or something. So Ali Berry, and anyone who has any problem with arthritis, pain, inflammatory response in the body, it is because your body is out of balance. How do you get it in balance? That's what we help you do at Batson and Associates. First thing, water intake. If you want to try the Alkagen water, which I strongly suggest you do, and it is available at any one of our offices, and we also have road delivery, feel free. You would not regret it. But you have to start somewhere. Your biological terrain is out of balance. The foundation needs work. In any building, in any structure, if the foundation is of ill repute, if the foundation is not properly constructed, later on you are going to have what? Problems. That whole building could collapse because of what? A poor foundation. So the question is, Trinidad and Tobago, listeners of Sky 99.5, what is the condition of your foundation? And that is where the blood analysis comes in. Because when you see for yourself what you're dealing with, you'll realize, but what the hell is it? People just watch me. When we do that blood analysis on people just say about Dr. Batson, I in a mess. They just say that for themselves. Because visibly, you don't have to be a student of biology or a biology enthusiast, but you will understand, listen to me, that's my blood, and that other thing inside of it is not my. And we taking the sample in front of you. And let's say we take the sample and carry it somewhere and bring something for you. It's your blood. If you want me to test that same sample 10 times, I'll do it for you. It's you. Okay. Miss Theodore says her granddaughter is 9 years old. Dr. Batson's, my cousin's granddaughter, has had bad allergies where we can't even eat nuts if she is with us in the same room. Whoa. Also, she is outside. She has to wear a mask. She has spots that comes out on her skin. Nah, man, I dealing with that. We dealing with that. She getting fixed in about 2 months. She better. That's the body. Let me explain something. All allergies are a response of your liver. What is the liver telling you? The liver is beginning to panic. Your liver like it going mad because you have so much toxins in the body that the liver now identifies all these chemicals that reacting with these other toxins in the body as toxic. And as a result of that, it now gives you an allergic reaction. So people who have a lot of allergies, and then histamine is going to be high in the body. But histamine is also closely related to stress because elevated stress can cause elevated histamine, which can now cause more issues with allergies. So that's something to pay attention to. All right. Jen Bree says, does panic attacks link with menopause? Of course. PMS, which is our next whole topic by itself, postmenopausal syndrome. Ladies and gentlemen, lovely ladies listening, those of you who may be along in age, please do not be suffering from insomnia, and because that's the next thing, they have a way when they start to give you these mental type of medications, Zoloft and Revitril and all these fancy things, and them. That's when the party started, and that's a party you don't want to be in for too long. If it's short term, emergency, because people don't understand that medication is really for emergency. That's essentially why medication was created in the first place. I don't know who is the bright person who come and tell people that they must take medication every day after. I don't know, some doctor or some group of doctors or pharmacists or pharmaceutical companies just decide to say, well, here what, people need to take medication every day. But medication fundamentally is for emergency. When you have high blood pressure and your blood pressure is so elevated and that we don't want anything to happen to you where you get an aneurysm or something like that, you would be given hypertension medication, which is either a beta blocker or a calcium channel blocker, which you can be given intravenously as well. But that is for emergency. So when the emergency is over and you have now come to the realization, and I'm going to be very blunt here, that is because of your laziness, not going and take a little run, take a little walk. Your lifestyle, because of being so busy, has become sedentary, and that you're not able now to do the necessary exercise. Your diet, you have a diet that is high in meat. Shout out to all the meat lovers. Give yourself a wave. It has some all here. You just like meat. Every meal you eat had to have meat. And I find ladies now, they're more ravenous than men when coming to meat. But I thought men would have been higher in that chain, but no, the ladies and them take the cake by. And some of them have no discretion with anything. Is any meat all eating. pork, lamb, ham, jam, everybody, you are going to end up in a situation with high inflammation. That is what that meat is going to do. Meat creates high levels of nitrogenous waste, which is a precursor for what? High blood pressure. Okay? So that's something you need to pay attention to. Miss Regina Murray says, "Hi, Dr. Batson. I need help for panic attacks. I can't be around crowds. We don't even talk about doing a test with those machines like MRIs and CT scans. I need help." Well, Miss Murray, I don't know where you are located, but you could give us a visit at Batson Associates. I don't know. Are you local? Are you Trinidad? Where are you? All right. Miss Ria Harry Kisun. She says, "Dr. Batson, how do I place an order for Alkagen water? I live overseas." No. Well, if you're overseas, Miss Harry Kisun, what I suggest you do, there's an international number we have, or a number we have for international clients. Get us on that number. That number would be, of course, Trinidad area code 868-373-2388. Again, that's 373-2388. Area code 1868, or you could also message us on 3149975. That's 3149975. And you can message us on WhatsApp, Miss Murray, and I'll be able to let you know what you can use. There will be some things that we'll be able to send for you here, which will be light and that kind of thing, but we can't ship water to you. That's going to be too heavy, obviously. So where you located overseas, I'm going to send the necessary information where you'll be able to get something there, which is going to be more convenient and effective and efficient. Make your life easy now. All right. Miss Heather Morgan Samuel, Dr. Batson, circulation, varicose veins. Varicose veins medically is known as varicosis, which is when the valves in your those valves in the legs, they don't close off properly in the lower extremities, and as a result, blood begins to pool there. There are a number of things that you can do for that. There's a circulation tea that we carry that is very good for that. We also have inflammation formula, which is also very good for that as well. And it's just a matter of a treatment protocol that you can do to correct that situation. You're very welcome, Miss Harry Kisun. She said that she sent a message today. All right. Let me say a pleasant good morning again to our social media. So we are live on Facebook. On Facebook, we are Batson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. That number again, you can and yes, you can come in tomorrow, please God. As I said, we have open clinic day in Shogunas, and that's the reason why I did this program. So you all will know, because we have a lot of persons saying, "Who, are trying to get an appointment with your Dr. Batson, are trying this, are trying that." We trying our utmost, and that is why we have those extra walk-in clinic days with my availability Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Anyone in St. James, if it is you're looking at St. James, the next St. James is going to have that marathon walking clinic day with me, but we're going to have to schedule them most likely in May. But I will be in St. James within the normal thing, because I work St. James usually on a Friday. I think sometime in this month I have them a Friday and a Saturday as well. All right. Yeah, it will be. Yes, sir.
Yes, we actually have some questions here. Someone said,
Mhm.
info on the liver is serious business. And she also says, her regards for your kind heart. So she sent that greeting to you.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, we also have someone else who asks, and this is within your field here, can I add lemon or apple cider to your circulation and healthy eyes teas?
Of course you can. Definitely. That is not a problem. That's not a problem at all.
All right, fantastic. And one more person asked, Dr. Batson awaiting the liver detox recipe.
Oh, good. All right. So let me give you that. So you're going to get raisins. You're going to get some raisins. You could use, I like the very dark ones. What they call those? Currants? Well, no. In fact, it doesn't have to be, but as I say, I prefer the dark ones. You could use the brown ones. Raisin. So you get 1 cup of raisins. You wash out your raisins. And what you do with the raisins is that you're going to soak your raisins overnight in water, warm water. So you throw the warm water to cover the raisins and you leave it there for 24 hours. At the end of the 24 hours, you take the raisins that are going to be really swollen and fat and nice now, and you're going to throw that in your osterizer, and you're going to take 1 cup of olive oil and throw it in that mixture. And you blend that mixture up, and you put it in a glass bottle. That's it there. And you take a tablespoon in a glass of warm water every day. And that is going to do some serious miracles for you. That's not expensive. I'll go again. 1 cup of raisins. You wash out your raisins. You boil water and you take 1 cup of hot water and throw it, or water enough to cover the cup of raisins. You leave it outside for 24 hours. Right? Don't worry, cover it down. And then what you do, you take that raisins, you throw it in your osterizer, and you take 1 cup of olive oil, you blend it, and you take that entire mixture, and you put it in a glass bottle, and you keep it in your refrigerator. And you take 1 tablespoon in hot water every day. And that's your recipe there. So do that, and let's see how you go. All right? Michelle Cooper says, good morning, Dr. Batson. Could you help someone with arterial tachycardia? Yes, of course, we can help someone with tachycardia. Definitely. Not a problem. Miss Samantha Babwa says, hi, Dr. Batson. Can breastfeeding mothers use that? Yes, of course you can. No self, you should use it. Yeah, that ain't doing your child nothing. That make baby stronger, man. It's just olive oil, raisins. If people only know the nutritional value of raisins, which is why usually raisin water, because when I do my raisins, because I put raisins in everything, quinoa, I use it when I make salads and that kind of thing. It's a very good thing because raisins are what? Dehydrated what? Grapes, right? And you all know how much benefits grapes have, right? Grapes actually have something known as resveratrol. R-E-S-V-E-R, as R-E-S-V-E-R-A-T-R-O-L, resveratrol. And resveratrol is actually what a lot of scientists had realized that grapes had, especially the skin has them in high abundance, is present in that entire fruit. And what they realized is that resveratrol actually has serious properties for cardiovascular. Someone is asking, Spice Girl is asking, can you put garlic in that liver detox? You could actually put garlic in it, you know. In fact, there are a lot of other things that you can put in it, but I don't want to confuse people because if I give you all a whole barrage of ingredients, I don't want to make it complicated. So I try to keep it as simple as possible. But in that measure, in that there, what you can do, you could take I would take like about 4 grains of garlic and actually chew it in it and blend it, and you could have that in the mixture as well. All right. Ms. Pamela Moses, Doc, tell me something. The plastic coating on capsule tablets, are they easily digested? A pleasant good morning to Ms. Pamela Moses. Yes, they are. You know, you have to, the capsules, you have vegetarian gelatin capsules, and those are the ones that we use at Batson and Associates primarily, unless it is a product that becomes a finished product, apart from the ones that will be finished that are done and sent for us. So I always use vegetarian gelatin, and those are very easy. That's vegetable cellulose, so that's easy to break down in the gastrointestinal system. Your stomach acid mashing that up, right? Even if it is made from bovine, so you have capsules that are actually pig gelatin and bovine gelatin. I try not to use those because of the ethnicities, because I deal with a lot of different people of different religious persuasions, and I'm very respectful of that. So I try my best to ensure that I get things covered. So of course I deal with a lot of Hindus and Muslims, 7 days Adventists, everybody, right? So we always have to be conscious of what we're giving persons. So we try more with the vegetable gelatin, those capsules, but there are capsules, and we always ask those questions, and we will tell you if we do have. But in any case, those are easily digested. It does not. Some people think it will stay in your stomach, and no, it wouldn't. Okay, Miss Elizabeth said, "Hi doc, what do you recommend for for lump in the breast of a 69-year-old female?" Okay, the thing is, when you're dealing with lumps, women should always do something and this is something that I have seen, and I have seen it work, is you get the black Jamaican castor oil and you take coconut oil and you put your ratio of 1 to 1. So if you're using 1 tablespoon of castor oil, you use 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. You mix the both together, you heat it a bit, and what you do is you massage under your arms. You rub under your arm. And what the female is doing, you're putting it on your breast, but not on your nipple. What that does, it encourages something known as lymphatic drainage. And it is something that actually helps people. It's also very good for men too as well. And men, what you could do with that mixture is that you take it and you actually rub on the inside of your thighs there, by your groin, by your scrotum. Yeah, massage it. That's your own. What that does, it actually helps to prevent problems with your prostate. So that's the black Jamaican castor oil, which is something we'll be starting to get at Batson Associates. There's a very good one that I got. Even the black seed as well, we also get in. A lot of new products coming. And that is something that's actually helped. So men, that's very good to, help with circulation. It's actually help with proper blood flow to your genitals, that type of thing is also a very good thing to prevent. And what it does, it actually helps to flush the lymphatic area, or the lymphatic system in the groin. So it's a very good thing to do. So that person who has that lump, that is what I recommend, Miss Elizabeth, as well as there's a product that we carry at Batson and Associates called Optimizer, and there's also one called Nerve Restore, and of course the inflammation formula. Those are some things that they could also use. If they need help or they want to come in for the walk-in clinic day, they could feel free either this week or next week when Dr. Batson would be fully available, together with his other consultants in that Shoguna's office. And then, of course, we do day and we do today. We do it accordingly. Okay, guys? Miss Marva Crossley Belfast is asking, what are the benefits of molasses? The benefits of molasses are extensive, and we do carry black strap though molasses at Batson and Associates, glass bottle. I'm taking molasses in no other bottle, glass. It has a lot of minerals in it. It is very good to build your blood count. It's also very good as it relates to issues associated with central nervous system problems. So there's a particular way we actually couple it with things like the Nerve Restore. Cerebral is also a very good product as well for that. So that's something that you could um look into. All right. Marshall says that black Jamaican castor oil really works. After receiving my COVID vaccine, my underarm lymph nodes were swollen and they went down within 3 days. Yeah, that castor oil is work. It really works. But it is very good for men. In fact, there's an oil that we're going to be coming out with shortly, which is going to be that and some others for men and women as it relates to that whole situation, to get that those lymphatics going and drain. Because you have to understand that your lymphatic system is a very important system. Remember, you have 7 channels of elimination: kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. But hear this: your lymphatic system is the system that cleans what? Your circulatory system. Your lymphatic system is a real important system, vitally important. And a lot of people have problem with their lymphatics and they don't even know. Okay. On our Instagram at Batson and Associates TT, Andrew Chezel. Oh no. Okay, it looked like it's Hazel and Andrews. Is adding a little salt and baking soda to water good? Does it alkaline the water? The thing is, when you add baking soda, people have to understand that alkaline water in itself, especially the alkagen, is not only alkaline water, but the water has a number of different properties. Is that ORP, which is oxidative reduction potential. The surface tension of the water is different. You wouldn't believe it. Have a whole science behind water. You could have 10 glasses of water on a table and all of them look the same, and the water not the same. In terms of mineral components and that kind of thing. So those are things to pay attention to. So back to Hazel's question. A little bit of baking soda in water is good. I always tell persons like a quarter to half teaspoon to a teaspoon in 8 ounces of water. It would give some sort of alkaline effect, yes, as it relates to oxygenation in the cells and that type of thing. Okay. So that's something that you can also do as well. You just have to be careful if you're hypertensive, though, because it will help with the hypertension in the long run. But in the beginning aspect, because of its ability to do certain aspects of detoxing and changing as it relates to oxygen and intracellular fluid, extracellular fluid, and how that moves, especially cleansing the body, the baking soda is going to help in that regard. So that's something that you also need to pay very close attention to as well. So keep that in mind. I think I've answered all the questions that I've had so far in front of me. Mr. Carter, sir, do we have any more questions?
Yes, we actually have a couple voice notes. Let me play one for you.
Good.
Good morning. My name is Alison. I had an injury with my ankle bone about 18 years ago. And about 1 year after, I started suffering with my back. That came, that came and finished. And then about last week or 2 weeks ago, I fell on work and times.
Oh, Shams.
I remember if I fell forward or backward, but since then I am having lower severe back pain. I went to the hospital to take an X-ray, and they said that they're not seeing anything, but it could be from the old injury that I had that shake up the body.
Mm-hmm.
But this pain is over and above. It's right down to the middle of my back, like to my buttocks there, mostly to the right side. I can't even bend. I can't walk for long. I am just in serious pain. Can you please tell me something to do, please?
Okay. Oh, yeah, boy. You're hearing that pain in your voice, girl. The thing is, injuries and all injuries could come back later in your life and cause problems, right? The thing is, back pain, most of the time, you have to understand that your back or your spinal column is one continuous mechanism that helps in keeping your body together, primarily. With your different types of, whether it's your axial skeleton, that kind of thing, which is your upper, your lower skeletal. The core aspect of your spinal column is to keep everything there together. Now, any disruption of the spinal column in any aspect, whether it's the cervical aspect, so the cervical aspect is C1 to C7, that's up to the neck, come straight down to the thoracic aspect, which is more the middle part of the back, and your thoracic vertebrae has 12 aspects, so it's T1 to T12. Then you have your lumbar vertebrae, which is L1 to L5, and then you have those last bones, the coccyx bones there. What you have to understand is that that is also connected to what? Your ribs. It is also connected to your sternum. So if that entire aspect is what we call your core. Now, any misalignment or any injury to any aspect of the core is going to cause problem in the entire core. So in other words, cervical vertebrae imbalances can end up having astronomical effects on the lumbar vertebrae. Thoracic injuries can cause problems in any part, the cervical aspect or the lumbar aspect. So what I would suggest to you, ma'am, is that there are natural anti-inflammatories that could be used, but there's also structural work that may have to be done on you because the injury could be causing compression on a disc. You have something known as herniated disc, you have sciatica, but all back problems and all musculoskeletal problems can be corrected, but we just need to look at the root aspect there. So what I would suggest you do now, until maybe you're able to come to us or anything like that, there is a tea that we carry at Batson and Associates called joint tea. The tea is actually a tea bag designed for joint pain and designed to improve the health of your joints. There's also a product we carry, which is an omega. I'm a huge advocate of omega. A lot of people do not understand what omegas are in the first place, which is why a lot of them ill speak it. But if you only know how good omegas are, it's just the kind and the type, because I'm very brand specific in what I use. And I use a lot of omegas, a lot. I use personally for myself over 6,000 milligrams of omega on a daily basis. And no, it is not too much. I'm not dead. Okay? It is very important for proper brain function. You notice how I speak? I don't have a book in front of me. So in order for you to have proper mental acuity, in order for you to have proper recall, in order for you to have proper cognitive function, omegas are essential in your diet. Brand and type, we could always discuss that afterwards. And I will not ill speak anybody's product on in a forum like this. I am not that type of individual, and of course I'm not going to give myself a lawsuit unnecessarily. All right. At Batson Associates, there's one that we carry called, it has astaxanthin in it. I'm a huge advocate of it. The only people who cannot use that are persons who have allergy to shell foods. And if you're a Seventh-day Adventist, then you cannot use that particular one. But there are other brands that we have. We have an advanced omega, which is very popular. It does really well. So it's very important that, you know, you start getting those bones. The CMOS is something you can also use as well together with the optimizer. So, you know, give us a call, give us a visit. You'll have 6 days, 6 days to take full advantage. So don't allow that to waste. At least it will give you an aspect of a connection with us or getting into with us so that we could now monitor you and help you to be better. Jen Breeze asking omega-3 or the omega-369. Both, either one. Either one. Okay. Mr. Carter, sir. Any more questions?
Yes. Yeah, we actually have a couple questions
Okay.
and a couple of voice notes. Let me read the question first. It actually comes with a review. Next week, March the 30th, it will be 1 year since my mother and I became satisfied clients of Batson and Associates at the
Whoa.
daily office.
Oh.
Our health has improved tremendously. Diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, etc. So literally everything.
Excellent.
She's asking 2 questions. Can diabetics use the reason detox mixture you suggested? And what is the cost of the blood analysis?
Okay. I'm so glad to hear that. Congratulations to you and your mom. Is her mom, she said, right?
Yes, her mom.
Yeah. As regards to diabetics and the reason protocol, yes, they can. What I would suggest as diabetics, use it early in the morning, earlier in the day, right? And ensure that your water intake, but it's not going to cause problems with spiking your blood sugar. It shouldn't. All right. What you can, and what's the second question, sir? Sorry.
Second question is, what is the cost of the blood analysis?
Okay, well, right. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to call our offices. I do not call price on the radio. And that's just something that I just, you know, never got into doing. All right, because I never wanted to be someone who was peddling. If you understand what I mean. So it's very easy for us to get the information. If you want to send maybe a contact for us, or in fact, we could just WhatsApp it, or you could check our page on social media and we will give you the necessary. What I can say is that we have specials now where we have the blood analysis, the scan, and those all in one. The telephone number that you can give us a call on, and you could always give us a call tomorrow, please God. That number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That is 314-9975. Okay, and that is for the Shoguna's office. Debe is the corner of Ramsamut Trace at the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. Keep in mind, if it is based on where you're located, you just want to take advantage of the opportunity with the clinic day this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But subsequent to that, we can forward your file back to where you live. So in other words, if you live Diego Martin and you would really want to be seen in the St. James office, but you want to take advantage to get in, to get the appointment, you can do that, and your file is going to be transferred to which office is closer to you. Okay, guys? That's something to pay attention to.
All right, we have a couple voice notes. Let me play one of these voice notes for you.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Batson. I'm the radio station guy. I'm currently hypertension, and I have pregnant. Put me on aspirin and metal which is the blood pressure medication. I'm studying. I'm thinking if I take the aspirin because I haven't started yet. I am 24 weeks in pregnancy and I'm studying if I take the aspirin. But I was hearing it's talking about this thing. It's baking half a teaspoon of baking soda in the water. After how I'm pregnant, could I drink that or I have to wait till after? Or anything that I could drink to help reduce the blood pressure during the pregnancy also?
Yeah. Okay, very good question. Excellent question. Yes, there are many things that you could actually use. Again, when in pregnancy, while pregnant, I do like medication during pregnancy. I mean, in the case of emergency, well, of course, we are no choice in the matter. And I have treated numerous women during pregnancy for gestational diabetes as well as gestational hypertension. If you are pregnant and during your pregnancy you become hypertensive, there is a reason why. Most of the time, it has to do with the hormones and it can be just slightly adjusted. We could do some work with your diet. There are supplements and there are a lot of things that we carry at Batson Associates that women could use during pregnancy that would not damage them or the baby. In fact, you get a healthier baby. You're going in that emergency room when time and delivery quick, right? I wouldn't recommend yet that you look at in dealing with the baking soda, but there are other things that you could use. So you may have to call our office because I would have to get details as regards to the hypertension and that type of thing. But definitely there are things that you can use. And one of my best testimonies with a client who was having serious problems with infertility for years, a client of mine in Tobago, during when because she finally did get a child quite successfully, and during that pregnancy she became diabetic and hypertensive, and that was because of the hormonal imbalance, and we quickly adjusted it, and within about 2 weeks time she was back to normal, and the blood pressure and the blood sugar was reading quite well. So there are things that you can do where that is concerned. But I suggest you may have to give us a call or a visit, at least a call, so that we could get more information and advise you accordingly. Okay.
Right, we have another voice note here.
Good morning, Dr. Batson. My question is, I was just listening to you on the program there, and you were speaking about rubbing the castor oil underneath the Jamaican castor oil underneath the arm there. What I wanted to know is if you can use the black seed oil the same way. Thank you.
Black seed oil has numerous properties that okay, so there are some oils that can penetrate the pores better than others. They call them carrier oils. Well, in the to the extent that it usually assists in. So the reason why we put coconut oil with castor oil, for example, is that castor oils are very thick oil, right? So the coconut oil makes it more easy to apply and that type of thing. I wouldn't recommend that you use black seed oil for that because black seed oil is better ingested, where it has great benefits as it relates to immune system. So it's a very good oil for the immune system. It's very good for your lungs as well. So I wouldn't suggest that you use that topically. You should leave that for internal use, and then the castor oil and the coconut oil you can use for application on the skin. Okay. Yes, Mr. Carter, sir.
All right. There's another voice note here. Let me play that for you.
Hi, good morning. I need to come and see you. None of my drivers in Shogunas, like they don't go try to your places. I'm talking about the clean clinic. I would like to come this week. But I don't, and I want to travel with a driver who I know. So if you who I know, nobody don't respond this clinic because they want money to building and money. I find that should be easy. I find that should be easy for a Shogunas driver to find your place, and I live in Shogunas too.
Okay. Yeah, the office is easy to find. It is located in Money Talks building. Money Talks building is actually right next to Island Finance. It's right next to there. What you can do is the 3149975 number. You could just message that and we could always send the location for you. Make your life even easier. And those of you who may be a little tech savvy, well, you know, if you pull up Batson and Associates on Google, you'll automatically see it. And you don't know the way those things comes up now. You get the telephone number, you get the location, everything. So it's very easy to find, right? And keep in mind, walk-in clinic days means that you don't necessarily have to have an appointment. If you have intentions of doing the blood analysis and the scan, we ask that you just fast for 2 hours. So when you come, we could just take the sample and you could always, we do what we need to do. You could sit down in the waiting room, you could actually walk with your stuff to eat too as well, so that we just facilitate, especially if you're diabetic, because we don't want you as a diabetic waiting too long. All right, so you can walk with your stuff to eat. You just fast for the 2 hours. When you come, we take the blood, they do the test, whatever the case may be, and you wait, and then I would do your review for you. All right, so that number for the Shogunas office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That is 314-9975. Let me also tell you, please, that Shoguna's office is a first floor office, which means that office is steps. So if you are someone who may be debilitated or you really have an issue with maybe your knees and you can't climb stairs, then maybe that is not the office for you. Keep in mind that I will be also doing, we have that that open clinic day situation again, which we'll be doing in St. James. I'll just be able to tell you all when there, and we'll be also doing it in Debe as well. And St. James and Debe offices rather are ground floor offices, right? It's only when we open that pain and stress center, which we're doing in Londonville, when that is open in Central, that's going to be that's a ground floor as well, because I always try to have ground floor offices, but of course you don't always get what you want, right? Especially when you're looking for location. All right, so that number again for Shogunas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261, and 314-9975. In addition to that, well, Mr. Carter, you let me know how we're going with time, right, sir?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, good. Any more questions?
I think this is the same lady. I think she spoke the same time. So let me play it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, could you send me the 331 number for me, please? I don't know if it's WhatsApp or whatever. I didn't get the whole thing.
Okay, good. So the WhatsApp number is 314-9975. Again, that is 314-9975. And of course, we have 222-8261. Just for information's sake and maybe location, and if you plan to visit Debe at some point in time, the Debe number is 223-7515. 223-7515, and St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough. Tobago, I know when I'm doing Tobago is going to get like about a week or 2 weeks out of me. So that's something to look forward to. And keep in mind our online consultation for our overseas clients. Those telephone numbers again, 868-373-2388. Again, that's 1-868-373-2388. Keep in mind, open clinic day means that you do not have to have an appointment. You can just walk in. Okay? And of course, take advantage of that. If you have plans of doing your blood analysis, your scan, that type of thing. And as I said, we have tomorrow, please God, we have Tuesday, we have Wednesday, and then the following week, we have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday again. And that is for the Shogunas office as it relates to my availability to that office. So it's going to be this Monday here, which is the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th. And then, of course, we have the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. So if you want information, you need to get your driver and find out whatever the case may be. Tomorrow, please God, that office is going to be full. You can call, send your messages, and someone is going to make sure to call you back, and we're going to make the necessary appointments for you. Let me say a pleasant good morning again to our listeners on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. Spice Girl 3357 Love on Instagram is saying, I am in my 70s and my hair keeps on falling off. What could be the problem? I am lacking something from Canada. The thing is, when you experience a lot of hair loss, usually it has to, well, stress. If it is you're really stressed out enough, your hair going to start to fall. Women especially could have that experience because of the hormones that women have, and especially if you're going through PMS, when women going through PMS and that kind of thing, it is going to help to or contribute rather to that particular situation with hair loss. Most of the time, hair loss is hormone related, which is endocrine related, which is nutrition related, and also as absorbability, assimilation, and digestion. One of the major issues, and I didn't touch on it today, is malabsorption, and that is why that blood analysis is so important. We also have our pensioner special. We have the pensioner special, and we also have the engine promotion special as well, which is for people who have, who work in auto mechanics and that kind of thing. I'm trying my best to appeal to these people. I was saying recently, of all the prostate cancer patients that I have right now, like 95% of them is from the auto body industry and the gardening industry. Men, do not be dealing with chemicals. Don't be spraying cars. Don't be dealing with lacquer. Y'all is working furniture. Is a joiner. Come on, man. Lung cancer is real now. Do you know in Trinidad and Tobago that our lung cancer numbers have significantly increased? Why do you think that is? Because y'all are spraying. You are coming in contact with chemicals on a daily basis, and you're not doing your due diligence to take care of yourself. Let me tell you something. Man does be man when they're healthy, and but when you're sick, that whole thing does change. Don't be plain talk bad manners. Don't be stupid. You hear what is that telling all you? You cannot be yes.
Yes, we actually have someone on the line here.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Dr. Batson.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Let me someone who called this Pentagon, people in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Like last building, right?
Right.
Do you think about relocating that building, boy, or get something with that ground floor? Because I don't know,
Yeah, definitely. You say I'm building it to be going. You easy. Don't worry. We working on that, man. That's what. Yeah, definitely. And okay, good, no problem. And that's what I said, in the show in Central. That's why we're gonna have the office in Londonville, which is that's our ground floor. So we will facilitate that. So people who Shogun's office will still exist, but it's just a matter of being able to facilitate people. And that was something that was always my concern. But again, circumstance and availability and whatever the case may be as regards to planning. And even when later on in doing our own stuff, that's going to be different because you're going from scratch. But this is something that was there. So we're working on that, and of course we try to facilitate in the other offices, as I said, in St. James and Davie, if someone may be wheelchair bound or something like that. But very soon in Londonville, that is going to be something that you're going to have available. So we're working on that. Because even where we are in Tobago now, that office is actually ground floor with wheelchair access and that type of thing. So you could always better your best, and you always have to work on improvement, and that's what we're doing. All right. One of the things, as I was saying, and I use the word stupid and I wasn't being harsh, is, some of these men, some of y'all only want some waking up, man. Your family, your children to live for, your wife to live for, your people to take care of. You cannot be an auto mechanic. You cannot be a diesel mechanic. You cannot be a welder. You cannot be doing agriculture. You're spraying. Well, I don't think there's used paraquat and gramazone again. I think they have other things now. You cannot be inhaling these things. You cannot be in contact with these serious chemicals and not be taking care of yourself. And that is what the engine promotion is. Easy work for you to do, but gentlemen, all your mind, all your business. Painters. Just recently, I got someone who came to me and it was too late. They came to me with lung cancer, but they already reached the stage where the body was severely weakened. They couldn't eat. And what do you think the job was? The person was an auto mechanic. So why you would be doing auto mechanic and not cleanse, not detox yourself? So take advantage of that. You could ask if that is your profession and you want to know what is the engine promotion. You could always ask the office about that. Marva Crossley Belfast asks, is the pensioner package available at St. James? All the packages that we have are available at all of our locations. Okay, Ms. Belfast, so you could, of course, take full advantage of that particular situation. Over to you again, Mr. Carter.
All right, that's what we have here for now. That's all wrapped up. We got everything so far.
Great. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Ms. Pauline McKenna. She says, good day, Dr. Batson. This is off topic, but please stress that individuals who have difficulty eating due to their ailment, example, cancer, that they should stay away from stuff like okay. That particular product, thanks. Okay, good. Right. Okay. Now the thing is, let me put it like this. She made a very valid point where you have a lot of meals. So there are a lot of meals that they have on the market now for the elderly. These meals that they have, maybe meals that are prepared already, they have them in tins and that kind of thing. I'm not going to call anybody brand, right? You need to be careful with those things. The milk, if you don't know by now, milk, dairy milk is very, very acidic and creates inflammation in the body. Please do not give elderly people these things to drink. You are making them sicker and you're sending them to meet the maker before the time. Those things create high levels of inflammation in the body and it causes serious problems with the lungs. These people are already elderly and they already have their challenges at that age. So you don't want to further exacerbate those challenges by giving them those things. Ensure that their intake of water is sufficient and try and include some hot teas in their diet. And that is going to help them significantly where that is concerned. Ms. Belfast is asking, is the for detox available in St. James? It's unfortunately it's not available in St. James. We have for detox right now in Chaguanas. It is going to be available or reintroduced today from the end of this month. And then when we go to Longdonville is also going to be available there, and Tobago is also going to be getting it back as well. St. James, because of where we are in St. James and the space and that type of thing, is very difficult to do in that office. Okay, but of course we are looking at finding a solution to that particular situation. So you don't know, maybe that's something that we will actually be doing where that is concerned. All right, guys.
We have another phone call.
Yes, sir.
Yes, hello, morning. You can go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, good morning. You go ahead, we're hearing you.
I want to know, doctor, you say is not a medical doctor.
Mm-hmm. What type of doctor am I?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You can listen off there. All right. So I am a consultant in what is known as natural and integrated medicine. Qualification-wise, I hold a bachelor's in holistic health science, a master's in health science, and my PhD and doctorate is in natural and integrated medicine. So with that being said, I have specific training as regards to pharmacology. So I know drugs. I also have specific training as regards to laboratory work which is why I am very familiar with blood work. You could bring any blood work for me and I could read it. So whether you do a CBC, which is a complete blood count, if you do an ESR, erythrocyte sedimentation ratio, if you do a PSA, so I could actually write letters to recommend for specific tests to be done. So the advantage that I am at is that I understand all aspects of medicine, because my training would have involved integrative medicine, which is part Western. So I have some training as regards to what doctors do. I know protocols. I know and that is why I could tell you if, for example, you are diagnosed with arthritis, I could tell you what the protocol is for Western medicine. I could give you the entire listing of what the protocol is, which is why when I started the program at the Genesis, I gave you the example of the gentleman who started being sick at the age of 55, and I gave you an example. So I sort of break it down to show you what happened in that particular scenario. The point I'm making as regards to me now, my job and my training specifically is in clinical nutrition and integrative medicine. So I'm able to provide solutions from a food or a nutritional perspective to heal and correct disease. That is what I have the ability to do. And as I and what I've been doing this 14 years now. Well, this year is going to make it 14 years, which now gives me an in-depth ability. So that's why, when I talk to clients and I tell them, like, I'll give you an example. There was this particular person who came to me and she had cancer. Well, the individual have cancer. It wasn't a she. And I said it was prostate cancer. Was a man. And I told him, he said, well, Dr. Batson, I don't really know about you. Some one of his family members come to me or something like that. So I was recommended. But he thought he was coming to a medical doctor. And he asked me, and I explained to him, I said, no, I am not. I said, a lot of persons get mixed up with that. I said, what I am, as I said, bachelor's, master's, PhD. So quite frankly, I could teach and do a number of other things. But the point is, I told them, I said, listen to me. This is what is going to be done to you. And this is what I do other than what is going to be done to you, because he wanted to know why should he come to me or why should he give me a chance, whatever the case may be. And I told him, I said, you're not giving me a chance, you're giving yourself a chance. After God, my prostate healthy, use the one with the problem. I said, but in any case, listen to me, what is going to happen to you. The diagnosis that you have been given for prostate cancer. In fact, no, let me go back. It wasn't prostate cancer he was diagnosed with. He was diagnosed with benign prostatic hypoplasia and prostatitis, which is infection of the prostate, which in all instances would have given him a swollen prostate, which would have made it difficult for him to pass water. So he was getting burning and that type of thing. He did not have the catheter as yet. Good. So the first time they did the consultation with me, he wanted to know what I had to offer. So I told him, I said, listen to me, that problem that you have BPH, which is benign prostatic hypoplasia, and you have prostatitis, which is infection of the prostate, and both causes swelling of the prostate. He said that he was going to go to a urologist, and the urologist was telling him something about a biopsy. I told him, I said, listen to me, I am not a fan of biopsies. And a biopsy is when they're actually going to go in and they're going to go via your anus and they're going to cut in the back of the prostate. They normally take 12 samples and they're going to send it to a pathology lab to have it thing. I said, but the reason why I don't like a biopsy is because biopsies open you up to infection. And there are a lot of medical professionals, medical doctors, unlike myself, who do not like biopsies. But at the end of the day, it's your prostate. If you want to do your biopsy, brother, that is your concern. But I'm saying to you, if that is my prostate, nobody can do no biopsy on me. Good. So the whole long and short of the story that I've given you here, or the experience, is this. I told them, I said, listen what they're going to do. They're going to put you on either Flomax, Avodat, or Terazocin, or something known as Hytrin. After that, they're going to send you to do a biopsy. And when the doctor does the biopsy, if they do believe that it is cancerous, based on the samples, because some of those samples will come back positive, some will come back negative, they are going to recommend that you do chemotherapy and radiation. And what they're also going to do, there's an injection that they're going to give you. And the name of the injection is something known as Zoloda or Zoladex. And you're going to get that injection every 3 months. Good. So I know that because of my experience and the training that I have. Because I have worked with medical doctors, and I do work with them even up to today in consultation with other clients, right? But I stated specifically to him what the treatment protocol was. Do you know why I was able to do that? Because most treatment protocols in medicine are standard protocols. So whether it's Carter or Batson or Monroe or A, B, C, D, E, F, G come with that problem, your treatment protocol is the same. We are not dealing with the root cause of the problem. So that's why when I say that I have the ability to deal and interact, you could be dealing with any doctor. I have dealt with hundreds of patients, locally and internationally, and have had conversations and submitted reports to their doctors. So I know the language. I could operate in this space quite comfortably. What I am not in and what I do not do is be part of the politics. I am not in the politics. I do not have time for that. Do not have time for that. I am about helping serious people get better. So I'm not going to argue with you and tell you, okay, if you have, because if you come to me and you have cancer and you're doing your chemotherapy and radiation, wonderful. That is your personal decision. I will work on my end as regards to preparing your nutritional protocol. I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you a fighting chance. I don't give up on people, but I'm going to give you what it is you need to get, and whatever you decide to do with your doctor. Because people don't believe that, which is why I did integrated medicine. Medicine could be integrated, because if you come to me, look, for example, there was a client I had recently. They came to me, it's a regular client. The client has been working, we have been working with the client for months. They have gotten very good results. The pressure gone down. They're not using pressure medication again. The doctors has taken them off metformin. They took them off enalapril. The clinic took them off, I didn't take them off, because when they continue to go to their clinic, which you have to do, because your clinic, is able to monitor you, and you'll be doing tests, so we will know if you're doing better. And what the person, what they did is that they stopped the sugar medication, they stopped the pressure medication, because when they started testing and they realized the person's blood sugar reading good. So the doctor said, but if your sugar reading so good, this is your third clinic, it doesn't make any sense you're using that medication. It will send down the blood sugar too low. So come off of the metformin, come off of the enalapril. The doctor did that. I didn't do that. But it was done based on the protocol that they were given, because people don't understand when you're dealing with integrated medicine and Western medicine, they could work hand in hand, Because there was a client, as I was saying, I had recently, they came to me and we're dealing with prostate, but the situation now, they went and do some nonsense and they get themselves in some problems. So I told them, I said, you know what you need to do? You're going to have to take antibiotics. Dr. Batson don't recommend antibiotics for anybody, just so. But for me to have recommended that they needed to get antibiotics is because I realized the situation was an emergency situation and they needed to get the antibiotics. So I sent them to one of the consultant doctors that I work with, and the doctor gave them the antibiotics for 2 weeks. So they're right now taking the antibiotics, and when they finish the antibiotics, they have to come back to see me. So you have to understand that you need doctors and you need a particular medical protocol at particular times. There are times that you wouldn't need Batson and Associates. If you're in an accident and something happened to you, you know who you need? You need an emergency doctor. You need the emergency room where they have specialized trained surgeons in emergency medicine to help you at that time. But when you finish, go through all of that, and God's willing, you go home and you rest up and that kind of thing, then you deal with Batson, because Batson will help you heal faster and that type of thing. So you have to understand when you need the type of doctor that you need. And that's the simplest explanation I could give to you. Simplest explanation. Diabetes, you cannot treat diabetes the way Western doctors treat diabetes and expect to get help. And I am not asking you, I'm telling you that. I've been dealing with diabetics for 14 years now. It's not a diabetic you could bring for me that I cannot help. People with diabetes need to understand that you have to put in the work. Because in order for your body to change, you have to give your body the correct things long enough in order for the change to take place. So again, in closing, let me give you the telephone numbers for the Shogunas office. That number for Shogunas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. The WhatsApp is 314-9975. That is 314-9975. And keep in mind our open clinic days, which we have all the time. The only difference with these days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, is myself, Dr. Jason Batson, is going to be available in the Shogunas office, as well as the following week, which is going to be, God's willing, that is the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. I'm going to be available because I only work in Shogunas usually on a Wednesday. But as I said, we did this to facilitate a lot of clients that we had, and we had some backlog and that kind of thing. And we try to, because I don't want somebody call me for help and I tell you, you could get an appointment a year from now. What sense that will make? I ain't helping you. I'm leaving you to dead. All right. So we need to get what we need to get done as quick as we need, as quick and effectively. That's the next thing, because people who normally come to us, you just have a little wait, I tell you from now, you just have a little wait, but it worth the wait because I am very thorough and my team is very thorough in what we do. With that being said, it is now 11:50. Mr. Carter, sir, I believe my time is up, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. So to all the listeners of Sky 99.5, I do apologize for my late arrival this morning. And I hope that this program would have helped you or helped someone that you know. The reasons protocol, try and remember that. And anyone could use it. Remember, you're putting it in a glass bottle. We're not in the plastic business with those things. Glass bottle. You put it in your refrigerator and you use a tablespoon in hot water, well, hot enough water, every morning. As we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Remember again, that telephone number for Shogunas office, those open clinic days for the next 2 weeks, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson. That telephone number is 222-8261, 222-8261, and our WhatsApp is 314-9975. 314-9975. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday morning. Mr. Carter, sir, thank you very much for your time. Until next week, please, God, enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
You too. Take care.
Take care, man. Bye-bye. Yes, social media. So, remember our dates, open clinic day. It is the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And it is also the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th. Yes, just a wait. Let me make sure I have these. Yeah, because this date is how the calendar is in my phone. My apologies, guy. Yeah, I was correct. So it's March is 27th, 28th, and the 29th. And it is April the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. Okay? So thank you very much, guys. And we're working on this thing with our notifications. We actually have some work that we're doing on our social media platforms. So we're going to get things organized, get you guys in a gear. Miss Joanne Hospitalis says, acid reflux is giving me a hard time. Need to visit you. Yes, and we also have Digestive Restored that we have gotten back in stock. We have Nerve Restore. We have things for you all. So take advantage, or you already remove your gallbladder. Yeah, so you're going to have some digestive problems, Miss Hospitalis. But we can help you with that, man. We have a gastrointestinal tea too. We have a tea called Gastro Tea. So we have things for you. All right, guys. So take advantage of that. Look, we have that information for you to book for those walk-in clinic days on our social media. Remember, we are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. You have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson. I thoroughly enjoyed this program this morning. And I look forward to seeing you guys. We have some more lives. We have some little things that we're doing. So look out for some new stuff. Take care. God bless and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Be safe. Make sure I need some salad with a macaroni pie today. Not too much pie, and put a salad in the food. All right? God bless.